Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with a hot take on where these people live. You know, had a little experience with the QAnon guys. Nice enough guys, but some of them are living in a bubble. And in that bubble, they desperately want to believe that the things they believe are going to, that their belief system will prevail. And they don't have a realistic expectation of how that can happen. So they create or believe in things that just aren't realistic. And, to a certain extent, yes, you can push things with the power of positive thinking and believing in stuff, but you can only push that so far. And I watched, as I was in this one group, as the QAnon stuff got crazier and crazier and crazier, and to the point like I'm just out. This was fun, but now you're talking nutso stuff. It was a similar pattern with watching Lin Wood. Lin Wood seemed to be, wow, this guy's really into freedom and liberty, and then slowly he just started turning it up until finally I'm like, what the heck are you saying, man? You're saying stuff I can't believe you haven't been sued. Although I will say, it is very odd that they're trying to get Lin Wood to a psychiatrist to disbar him. If he doesn't go to a psychiatrist, he'll be disbarred, kind of thing. Why don't they just sue him if what he's saying is wrong? Which leads me to believe that at least some of the things he's saying is true, and that maybe this is a ploy to get himself sued so he can then bring it out in court. I don't know. But it doesn't change that some of the stuff he said and other people have said are a bit crazy and outrageous. And that is treated with skepticism by most people. Whereas on the left, it's considered primetime news. Ana Navarro, McCarthy's Mar-a-Lago trip, white slavery. He's owned by his master, Donald Trump. This is a bit hyperbolic. I mean, this is beyond, 10, 20 years ago, stuff like this would have been front page news, and Ana Navarro would have been asked to step down or take a leave of absence to get her head together. If she had planned to say this on a show, it's most likely the producers would have pulled her aside and said something like, Anna, you can't say these outrageous comments. That's too far. But now it's like, oh, well, anything you could say against Donald Trump, no matter how outrageous, well, by all means. That's just a bizarre statement. White slavery. He's owned by his master, Donald Trump. He is the House Majority Leader. And Trump is still the head of the Republican Party. He is. Hate to tell you, but Trump is still technically the head of the party. And he's also the most popular Republican in modern times. So this idea like, oh, well, we have to dismiss, anything related to Trump. You guys are just making it worse for yourselves. You are. You're driving people to Trump. Every time you do this, another 4 people go, I'm done with this view. You know what? Trump's not that bad. You are. But you don't say it. You don't care. As long as you get your money, as long as you get your sweet, sweet cash. If anybody's a slave, it's the people who push these narratives. Because they're a slave to the narrative. Because if they don't push that narrative, no more money, no more fame, no more fancy pressers where you get to stay in a nice hotel and get all the food you want for free. No more writing everything off on your taxes like your personal trainer and your car, and no more accountant that pays all your bills. You never see a bill. No more days where you just waltz in, shoot a show, and then go out and party all night. The moment you stop pushing that narrative, all that comes to a grinding halt, and you go back to being a normal person, pay your own damn bills, figure out how you're going to make your money now. Rep. Cori Bush says she moved offices because she can't waste time wondering if a white supremacist is conspiring against her. From Yahoo News. I don't normally look at Yahoo News, but this headline caught my eye. But Democratic Rep. Cori Bush seems to be living in a bubble. This is the Democrat bubble now. Ooh, you all right? She is moving offices to get away from Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Bush said she isn't moving offices because she's afraid, but because she has a job to do. You know how big the offices are in the Capitol building? I mean, the Capitol building's pretty big. I'm pretty sure you could avoid Marjorie Greene if you had to for most of your time. But, you are both in Congress, so you can't avoid her forever. Bush said she and her staff should not have to come to work worried that Greene wants to do them harm. I've never seen anything like that. This victimhood mentality isn't going to play because it makes you look weak. It makes you weak. You are weak. Why should anyone vote for you? Oh, I'm afraid of the other people in Congress. Why would anybody vote for you then? You're going to go to the floor of the Congress and go, ah! Hours after Democratic Rep. Cori Bush of Missouri said she was changing offices because of Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene berated her in a hallway, the freshman lawmaker told MSNBC's Joy Reid that she didn't move out of fear, but because she has a job to do. What I cannot do is look over my shoulder wondering if a white supremacist in Congress by the name of Marjorie Taylor Greene or anyone else, because there are others that are conspiring against us. Yeah, that doesn't sound too paranoid. And that totally sounds like fear. It absolutely sounds like fear. So I don't know if that's the guy in Yahoo News trying to spin it away, but it sounds like she's absolutely petrified. Unless it's BS, which I think she knows it is, so it's just positioning. Oh, I'm going to position myself as the victim. Oh, white supremacy. Oh, no. These people are destroying words. And good luck if you actually, Boy Who Cried Wolf? Anybody? What are you going to do if there's an actual threat? You call the FBI every day. Oh, I think there's a white supremacist in the Congress, in the Capitol building. Help me. You call them every day. Of course you won't, because I think we all know it's BS. This is all just BS you say on MSNBC. She said that her focus has to be on St. Louis and the people she represents. Yeah, it probably won't be. Bush also emphasized that members of her staff deserve to feel safe at work. They should not have to come to work and wonder if that door's going to open and it's somebody who does not want them to do well. What the hell does that mean? Yeah, it's because you can't say what you really want to say. You can't say something like, I'm not going to say it, but violence. You know that's a bridge too far. Oh no, it's somebody who does not want them to do well. Help! 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 Bush told Reid that despite working previous jobs in fast food, childcare, and healthcare, she's never had a work environment like her current one. Oh, gee. So you never had to, you can't sit behind your desk and sneer at people as they come to order their French fries? or set some bill you're supposed to read in a crib and ignore it while you watch TV for 6 hours, wait for the parents to come home. Greene reacted to Bush's TV appearance Friday evening, retweeting the readout and saying that same Cori Bush in reference to Bush's comments about her current workplace. You should stop yelling and attacking people, Greene wrote. No surprise you joined Joy Ann Reid. She's enjoys lying too. Boom! Yeah. Joy Ann Reid is not a reliable source of information in my view. She is terrible. She is another one who should have been off the air. 10, 20 years ago, the scandals that a scandal like Joy Reid had with her blog. Oh, yeah, she gets the power through it and say, "Oh, I was just hacked." I was just hacked. I was a victim. I was a victim. I'm the real victim. Fake news media trying to discredit her. Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. You know, if you ever get an actual white supremacist in Congress again, and I should say again as in back in the 20s, you will be in trouble. Because those guys will be able to hide behind rhetoric like this. While you're spearing every Republican with a white supremacist brush, an actual white supremacist could slip in. And in fact, the racism now is on the left by a much wider margin. Much wider. So this posturing is just going to blow up in your face. And it should. It should. She should not. I don't know why anybody would elect this woman. People don't want us to do well. Oh no. Bush was a racial justice and police accountability advocate before elected to Congress. Yeah, that's code for I was a Democratic operative who worked in that area. Bush reportedly asked Green to put on a mask, and Green responded by berating her. Bush said a member of Green staff told her to stop inciting violence with Black Lives Matter. Yeah. I mean, if she did, I don't know of any specific incidents with Cori Bush, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, so she's just playing the victim here, on and on if you want to read this, but I mean, look at her mask. Good trouble. Oh, I'm good trouble. I'm good trouble. Okay. I don't know what that means, good trouble. You're supposed to be in Congress. You're supposed to be dignified. How about just wearing a regular mask? Just a regular mask. You don't have to have a saying on it. Good trouble. Okay. Keep making that good trouble. Move your offices. Spend a bunch of money. I'm sure the people in Missouri will be on the hook for it. Hirono, sad. The GOP embraces white supremacist, conspiracy theorist. See how happy she is? Look how happy she is. Let me see if I can start this one out. Yeah. Senator Mazie Hirono of, HI's Hawaii, right? On Friday told MSNBC Live, it's always MSNBC, that it was sad the Republican Party embraced, quote, white supremacists and conspiracy theorists. Yeah, I think it's sad you embraced Marxist, BLM, and Antifa. But what are you going to do? On impeachment, Hirono said the conviction for inciting insurrection, that's first and foremost on my mind. Let's do that first. We have a bunch of Republicans who are not willing to hold this president accountable. We have a Republican Party embracing white supremacists and conspiracy theory believers. That's the party. So first and foremost, we need to get on the impeachment trial unless the president comes on evidence that he's totally innocent of everything, which I don't think, because we all experienced this insurrection. Yeah, not too paranoid. Oh, I'm a victim too. I'm a victim. Hey, isn't it weird they're all women? Well, thank God for Marjorie Greene. At least she's not a victim. Is that what women do in politics, ladies? Is that what you want? Oh, everybody's hurting me. Everybody's against me. That's sure what it sounds like. Jesus isn't coming up, but she was smiling. She was smiling pretty broad. But this is the tactic that they've embraced because it's effective, but it's becoming less and less effective every day. And of course, the hypocrisy on the left is just, it's just off the charts. It's really off the charts. And it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse and worse. I mean, this is the pattern we saw with the Republicans until they destroyed themselves. Until they destroyed the party, the country. They did so much damage. Everybody just hated the Republican brand. And that was during the Bush years. They peaked. They had this amazing peak, which wasn't because of anything they did. It was because of 9/11. And, Bush was at 90% approval rating, and everybody was like, oh, yeah, go America. And, and Bush was, man, he played people. He played people big time. Yeah, We're gonna go in. We're gonna bomb these suckers. We're gonna get these people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. He didn't, but he spent a whole lot of money and got his friends rich because he knew. He knew it was all a game. It was all a game to these people. He didn't really care. It was just like, oh, look at this photo op. I'm going to stand on a pile of rubble. He tried that in Katrina. It didn't really work. But, you know, at 9/11, oh yeah, it worked big time because people were freaked the F out. And they take advantage of that. So it's more evidence that you got to keep your head during a crisis. But the Democrats now live in perpetual crisis and drama. I mean, I just did 3 articles. They're all women, and they're all playing the victim. You know, at what point, ladies, do these women pick it up and actually do something without being passive aggressive and saying, well, if you don't pass this bill, you hate immigrants. If you don't pass this bill, you hate the American people. You know, while oligarchs run amok and big tech censors everybody. Oh, they're fine with that. This is part of my theory of females, especially on the left, nurturing everyone to death. They're nurturing us to death. Mommy knows best. Oh, don't criticize mommy. You hurt mommy's feelings. Mommy doesn't like white supremacy. Yeah, and she sees it everywhere, so anything bad is white supremacy. Anything bad, you're a bad guy from World War II. This is, unfortunately, an effective tactic, but it's being used so much that eventually it will have zero power. You know, back in the 70s, you called somebody this, that was a big deal. Now it's like, okay, whatever, Democrat. Dumb Democrat alert. So they're ruining their brand with this sort of behavior, and in 2 years, unless they can have one of the most secure elections ever, honk honk, wink wink, they're going to be in big trouble. And I look forward to the political ousting of the Democrats.